My wife used to humiliate me in front of everyone until her best friend pulled me out of a dinner and completely changed my life. Now everyone's looking for me, even her. Hey Reddit, I'm a 34-year-old man, and this is the story of how my wife, a gold digger with delusions of grandeur, tried to humiliate and replace me, and how I ended up completely ruining her life. Buckle up, because this gets intense. First, some context to set the stage. I'm not a trust fund kid or a Silicon Valley genius. Everything I have, I earned through hard work. My dad abandoned us when I was 8, and my mom worked double shifts to keep us afloat. At 19, she was diagnosed with lupus and had to stop working. I dropped out of community college and took any job I could find to support us. I started at a local HVAC company making $10 an hour. In my spare time, I studied for certifications, watched videos on commercial systems, practiced welding in my mom's garage, and reviewed refrigerant charts during breaks. I volunteered for the toughest jobs, flooded basements, rooftops in 100-degree heat. I got shocked more times than I can count. One day, the boss noticed I stayed late to help a single mom during a heatwave without charging extra. From then on, he trusted me with complex jobs, demanding clients, and emergencies. By 25, I was his lead technician. I earned good money and respect in the industry, but I wanted more. I saved for 3 years, living in my mom's basement and driving a '98 Honda Civic with over 200,000 miles. Finally, I had enough to start my own business, Central Kentucky Climate Solutions, one truck, basic tools, and a phone. The first 2 years nearly broke me. I worked 70-plus hours a week, taking any job and reinvesting every dollar into the business. I remember a Christmas when I had $47 in my personal account because everything else went to buying a second truck. I survived on peanut butter sandwiches. My mom offered to lend me money, but I refused. This was my dream, and I had to make it happen through effort. Things turned around when a restaurant chain hired me for their locations across Kentucky. One satisfied corporate client led to another, and I built a solid base. I hired my first employee, a kid with the same hunger to grow, then another. In small towns, reputation is everything. Keeping your word makes you stand out. Today, I have 6 trucks, 8 employees, and we generate about $500,000 a year. We service commercial accounts in 3 counties, restaurants, offices, clinics. I bought my house in cash 3 years ago. I drive a fully paid-off 2019 F-250 and have around $280,000 in savings and investments. Not bad for a high school dropout who started from nothing, right? This is key to what's coming. 4 years ago, I met Laura at my friend Andrew's wedding. I was 30, working nonstop and feeling pretty lonely. She was a bridesmaid, tall, blonde, with obvious cosmetic enhancements, an aspiring Instagram model with about 12,000 followers. She posted suggestive photos with captions like, "Know your worth and level up." The red flags were there, but I ignored them. On our first date, she ordered the most expensive dish without glancing at the prices, talking about her personal brand and her influencer career that never generated real income. She lived with 3 roommates but had designer bags and shoes. She was 26 and had never held a job for more than 3 months, barista for 2 months, retail for 6 weeks, a failed attempt at real estate. When I asked how she supported herself, she said she was investing in herself. Her idea of work was posing in a bikini and selling questionable cosmetics to her friends. She'd spend $300 at Target and call it a home investment. She bought a $1,200 purse for networking because successful women need to look the part. She ordered 15 smoothies a week, claiming they were wellness brand expenses. Her Instagram was color coordinated, with outfit changes planned by daylight and ring lights in 3 rooms of my house. She made me take 40 photos with a coffee cup to get the perfect angle, then posted about hustle and productivity when all she'd done was choose between 2 filters. But she was gorgeous and seemed interested in me. After years of grinding, I thought I deserved something good. We moved in together after 6 months, and that's when I saw who she really was. She had expensive tastes and no income, and the budget, of course, was mine. She complained that my house was small, my truck outdated, and I didn't take her to fancy restaurants. This from someone who contributed nothing. The worst was how she belittled my work, making comments about how I just fixed air conditioners and comparing me to her friends' partners who worked in offices. This from someone whose greatest achievement was getting 1,000 likes on a swimsuit photo. But the sex was incredible, and I kept telling myself she'd mature, that she was young and finding her way. Big mistake. We got married 2 years ago. I paid for everything, of course, $45,000 for a wedding designed to look perfect on social media. She invited 200 people. I invited 12. The guest list should have been the first sign. Marriage changed everything. Suddenly, I wasn't the man who built a company from scratch. To her, I was just another technician with no future. The comments and jabs increased. Why don't you wear a suit like a real professional? Claudia's husband just got promoted to regional manager. When are you going to grow your business? It's embarrassing to Jarvis to say I work in attics and wires. This from someone who hadn't earned $2,000 in a month since we met. For years, I fully funded Laura's dream lifestyle. House, car, food, clothes, vacations, everything. She contributed nothing but constant complaints and social media posts. Then she started hanging out with a new group of women she met at an exclusive yoga studio in Lexington. They called themselves goddesses and spent hours talking about manifesting abundance and knowing their worth. Basically, a club of women convinced the world owed them everything without giving anything back. These new friends filled her head with absurd ideas, that she deserved better, that she needed to level up, that a successful woman shouldn't settle for a working-class man. Never mind that this working-class man funded every part of the dream life she flaunted. The breaking point came last March. We had a planned dinner with her old college friends, Ashley and Trevor, he's an investment banker, and Megan with her new boyfriend, Derek, a pharmaceutical sales rep. Laura insisted on an expensive restaurant, so she picked the fanciest steakhouse in town. I wore my best dark jeans, a dress shirt, and a sport coat. Nothing flashy but presentable. The second I got in the car, the comments started. Couldn't you have dressed better to meet my friends? You look like you're ready to change oil. I tried to laugh it off, but she kept going. The whole drive, she posted selfies while complaining I never tried to impress important people. At the restaurant, I did my usual, opened her door, pulled out her chair, ordered her favorite appetizer. That used to make her smile. Now she acted like it was my job. Dinner started with typical chatter, Trevor talking about a multi-million-dollar merger, Ashley about a marketing promotion, Megan gushing about Derek's new BMW. Then Laura chimed in, dripping with disdain. John runs a little repair business. He fixes air conditioners. No mention that I owned a stable company or built it from nothing. Just fixes air conditioners like I was a low-paid grunt. I tried to correct her. Actually, I run Central Kentucky Climate Solutions. We have 8 employees, service commercial accounts in 3 counties, restaurants, medical centers. Last month, we installed a $200,000 system in a new clinic. She cut me off with a mocking laugh. Basically, he crawls through attics and tells people their compressor's broken. It's not rocket science. Trevor raised his eyebrows. Ashley avoided eye contact. Derek shifted uncomfortably. Laura wasn't done. I keep telling him to go back to school, get a real degree, something that could lead to a management position. Management of what? I asked, my face burning. I don't know, something professional, something you could put on a business card without embarrassing yourself. Everyone laughed awkwardly. They were watching my own wife tear down everything I'd built. Ashley gave me a pitying look like I was beneath her. Even Derek, who just met me, chuckled. I was paralyzed. When did the woman I married start seeing me as a burden? I tried changing the subject. Did you guys see the Kentucky game last weekend? Hell of a comeback in the fourth quarter. Trevor nodded, and we started talking about the team's defense. I offered some analysis on their offensive line changes, but Laura cut me off again, raising her voice. Honey, nobody wants to hear you analyze sports. This isn't Buffalo Wild Wings. Silence. Trevor stopped. Ashley looked down. Derek looked like he wanted to vanish. Even Megan seemed embarrassed for me. Laura wasn't done. Sorry, he thinks he's an ESPN commentator. It's adorable. Adorable, like I was an ignorant kid. I mumbled an excuse about needing air and left the restaurant. I stood outside by my truck for 10 minutes, trying to process how I'd reached the point of being mocked by my own wife. She lived in the house I paid for, drove the car I financed, hadn't held a real job since we met, yet she was embarrassed by me. Megan came out, lit a cigarette, and said, "What happened in there was awful." I just nodded. "You seem like a good guy, John. I don't know what's gotten into Laura lately, but that was uncomfortable to watch." She paused, then added, "Look, I shouldn't say this, but since she started hanging with those yoga women, she's changed. They're obsessed with not settling and leveling up. They treat men like ATMs. I hadn't heard this before. What women? She goes to this fancy hot yoga studio in Lexington with divorced women and gold diggers. They call themselves goddesses, talk about attracting wealth and finding men to bankroll them. It's like a cult." My stomach dropped. Laura never mentioned this. Megan continued. They feed each other this idea that they're above regular guys. They think they deserve everything without giving anything back. Back at the table, they were ordering dessert. Laura didn't ask if I was okay or where I'd been, just smirked and said, "Order the chocolate cake, John. It matches your level of sophistication." That's when I realized I wasn't married to a partner, but to a parasite with a smile. 3 days after that disastrous dinner, I was in the garage on a Saturday morning organizing tools when Laura came out in a new workout outfit, a $150 Lululemon set, naturally paid for by me. "I'm off to yoga and lunch with the girls. Don't wait up." "Which girls?" I asked. She gave me that annoyed look like I was controlling for asking a simple question. "The studio girls. We're working on some amazing projects." "What kind of projects?" "You wouldn't understand. It's about female empowerment and building our personal brands." She drove off in her Lexus, which I was paying for monthly. I stared out the window, wondering what building a personal brand meant when your only skill was posing in athleisure. Then my phone buzzed, unknown number. Hey, it's Jen. We met at Andrew's wedding. Sarah's cousin, you should see this. She sent a screenshot of Laura's Instagram at a fancy downtown restaurant, Capitol Grill, posted 2 hours ago. Caption: dinner with my business partner, blessed entrepreneur life, living my best moment. She wasn't with her yoga friends. She was with a suited-up guy leaning toward her, his hand on her arm. The comments were pure fluff fire emojis, slay queen, from her adoring followers. I texted Jen, who's he? Brad Hoffman, she replied. Owns car dealerships in Louisville, recently divorced, loves flashing money on social media. He's been liking and commenting on her posts for months. I checked Laura's Instagram. Sure enough, every photo had likes and comments from it. Brad the King. You always look stunning. Successful women are irresistible. You deserve the world. And my wife replied, thanks, love, you're so sweet. Love you seeing my worth. All public for anyone to see, while I worked 60+ hours a week to fund her lifestyle. The next Sunday, Laura came home at 11 a.m., disheveled, makeup smudged, wearing different clothes than when she left. How was lunch with the girls? I asked casually. Amazing, she said, still glowing. We had an incredible session planning our exclusive wellness retreat, very high-end, for women who want to invest in themselves. Where you eat. That cute bistro on Main, the one with mimosas and live music. I knew that place had been closed for 2 years since the pandemic. I didn't say anything, not yet. I started paying closer attention. Her phone was always face down now, even in the bathroom or bed. She got texts at odd hours from business partners in different time zones. Suddenly, she needed to train twice as much, bought lingerie she never wore for me, and started traveling to Louisville twice a week for networking events. She always came back late, smelling of expensive cologne that wasn't mine. The final proof came 2 weeks later. She left her iPad charging in the kitchen while showering. It shared her phone's Apple ID, so messages synced automatically. What I found made me want to break something. Months of texts with Brad, starting in January, maybe earlier. Can't stop thinking about yesterday. John's working late again. Perfect timing. Come over. You make me feel like the woman I'm meant to be. He has no idea how unhappy I am. So boring and predictable. Something special for you. You'll love taking it off. Brad's replies were worse. You deserve more than some blue-collar nobody. When you're ready to leave that mediocre life, I'll be waiting. Book the penthouse suite for Thursday. Champagne and strawberries included. Your husband's a loser. A real man wouldn't let his wife settle. But Laura's message broke me. He actually thinks I respect him. Like I'm impressed by a guy who works with his hands. I'm meant for more than this basic existence. Brad replied, you're a goddess, baby. Once you ditch that dead weight, we'll build the empire you deserve. My princess shouldn't live like a peasant. I screenshot everything, saved it in a folder called Evidence, and called the best divorce lawyer in the state, David Reeves, known for his aggressive style in high-stakes divorces where one party tries to hide assets or manipulate the process. I chose him because I knew Laura would try to take everything. Give me a rundown of your assets, he said, pulling out a notepad. House is worth about $420,000, no mortgage. Business valued at roughly $1.2 million. Assets, contracts, reputation. Personal accounts with $280,000. Retirement funds at $150,000. Vehicles worth $65,000 total. David whistled. And your wife's contribution to this estate. She's been unemployed since we married. Technically sells beauty products online, but made maybe $3,000 in 2 years. She's been a financial burden, $50,000 a year on clothes, spa treatments, business dinners. So not only has she not contributed, she's squandered marital funds, David said, leaning back in his leather chair. Kentucky's a no-fault divorce state, but infidelity can impact asset division, especially if she wasted marital money on her affair. That's called unjustified dissipation of the marital estate. We can demand she repay every cent spent on it. Hotels, gifts, lingerie, dinners. How much are we talking? Could be $20,000 to $50,000. We'll do a forensic analysis of every credit card and bank statement from the past year. The plan, file immediately, subpoena all financials and build the case. She'll try to hide money or demand alimony, but we'll show the judge what kind of wife she's been. He scribbled quickly. Pin down every bank statement and credit card bill from the last 2 years. We'll track every hotel charge, restaurant bill, suspicious expense, and build a timeline of the affair. We'll cross-reference her Instagram posts with hotel receipts, show she was in luxury suites when she claimed to be at yoga, that lingerie purchases aligned with her business trips. We'll establish a clear pattern of deception and financial waste. Those texts are dynamite, proof of intent, contempt for the marriage, and contradiction of any devoted wife claims. They'll destroy her case for half your assets. How long will this take? I asked, trying to stay calm. If she cooperates, 6 months. If she fights dirty, it could drag out. Trust me, she'll fight, David said coolly. The The more selfish and entitled she acts, the worse she'll look to the judge, especially with the infidelity and financial waste evidence. I left his office energized for the first time in months, ready to fight back with everything I had. Then I hired a private investigator, Tommy Breslin, an ex-cop specializing in infidelity cases. It cost $5,000 up front, best investment I ever made. What do you need? Tommy asked. Ironclad proof, photos, videos, records, anything court admissible. She's careful, but not that careful. I gave him 2 weeks. Laura had another business trip to Louisville that weekend, and I knew she wouldn't be alone. Tommy exceeded expectations. He got photos of Laura and Brad at 3 upscale restaurants, holding hands, kissing in parking lots. Videos of them entering the downtown Marriott at 2 p.m. and leaving after 6. Hotel receipts showing Brad paid for a premium suite with champagne service. The best part, Tommy followed them after one outing to Victoria's Secret. Video showed Brad buying $400 worth of lingerie while Laura modeled it for him. Tommy also documented her lies. She claimed to be at a wellness conference while posting Instagram stories from hotel bars with location tags off, captioned "My moment." Meanwhile, I was home eating leftovers, thinking my wife was learning meditation techniques. The most damning evidence came when she claimed to be at an intensive yoga retreat. Tommy followed her to Brad's $2 million mansion outside Louisville while his ex-wife and kids were away. Security cameras caught them by the pool, not practicing yoga, I assure you. Your wife's not exactly discreet, Tommy said, sliding a thick folder across the table. While you thought she was at a retreat, she was posting from a bar. She even shared a photo of 2 champagne glasses with heart emojis. I flipped through the images, Laura in luxury hotels, living it up with another man, wearing dresses and bags I bought, drinking champagne he paid for, her wedding ring still on while he openly embraced her. What are you gonna do with this? Tommy asked. I'm going to destroy her, legally. She'll regret crossing you. I waited for Laura to leave for another spiritual retreat, a romantic getaway with Brad at an exclusive Tennessee resort. As soon as her Lexus pulled out, I sprang into action. First stop, the bank. I transferred exactly $140,000 from our joint accounts to a new one in my name, leaving her the $47 that matched her actual contribution to our marriage. Second stop, cancellations. The car lease was in my name. She was just an authorized user. I canceled her car insurance, phone plan, gym membership, Netflix, Spotify, meal services, everything. If she wanted to act single, she'd pay like one. Third stop, David's office. We were ready to file for divorce, but I wasn't done. Laura lived her life on social media, so I found out Brad's wife, Karen, had no idea about the affair or their divorce. I sent her a package, photos of the affair, hotel receipts, screenshots of Laura calling me a burden while planning her empire, Victoria's Secret receipts, and a polite note. You should know where your alimony payments are going. I think we need to talk. Laura came home Sunday night around 8, glowing from her retreat. I was on the couch watching the news, acting normal. How was the trip? I asked, eyes on the TV. Amazing, she gushed. Truly transformative. I think I've finally found my true calling. Glad to hear it, honey. Can you check your phone? I got some bank notifications about our accounts. She swiped through her phone, and her face shifted from confusion to worry to full-blown panic in seconds. John, what's going on? Why does our checking account have only $47? Oh, that, I said calmly. I moved my money to a separate account. Figured you wouldn't mind since you're building your empire with your business partners. She stared like I was speaking another language. Your money is our money. We're married. Really? What exactly did you contribute to earn it? I'm your wife. I manage our home, support your career. Manage our home. You mean spending $200 a week at Target and posting bikini pics on Instagram? Her voice turned shrill. You can't steal our money like that. It's illegal. I tossed her a manila envelope. It's completely legal, so is this. Her hands shook as she opened it, her face paling at the divorce papers. Divorce? Why are you doing this? I walked to the kitchen, returned with a thick folder, and spread it open like dealing cards. Because I know about Brad. Her skin went whiter. I don't know what you're talking about. I slid photos across the table, Laura and Brad dining, entering hotels, buying lingerie. Still don't know? She burst into tears, not sadness but contained rage. You followed me, you're sick, this is stalking. Investigating your cheating isn't stalking, it's protecting myself. Big difference. It's not what it looks like, you're misinterpreting everything. Brad and I are just business partners. I pulled out my phone and read her texts aloud. He actually thinks I respect him, like I'm impressed by a guy who works with his hands. She lunged for the phone, I pulled it back. There's more. I read, you make me feel like the woman I'm meant to be. He's so boring and predictable, just works and comes home like a robot. John, please, I can explain. Go ahead, explain calling your husband dead weight, saying you deserve better than this basic life. She sobbed uncontrollably. I didn't mean it. I was just saying stuff to make Brad feel better about his divorce. So you destroyed our marriage to comfort another man. Please, we can fix this. I'll end things with Brad. I'll go to therapy. I'll do anything. I showed her the divorce papers asset division section. You get half of what you contributed, $47 in cash and your personal belongings. The house, my car, I can't live like that. You should have thought of that before trying to replace me with someone better. John, I made a terrible mistake. I love you. You love the bank account and lifestyle I provided. That's different. Her tears stopped, her eyes hardened, the real Laura cold and calculating. Fine, I'll sue you for everything, alimony, half the business, the house, I'll destroy you. I smiled and pulled out another folder. With what lawyer? You have no access to our funds. Good luck finding one to work for free after seeing this. I handed her the texts, hotel receipts, and compromising photos Tommy collected. This is dissipation of marital assets. Every dollar you spend on your affair, $38,000 by my lawyer's estimate, you owe the marriage. You can't prove that, she said, voice shaking. No, lingerie receipts you never wore at home, hotel charges when you claimed to be at yoga, restaurant bills for two when you were lunching with friends, spa treatments before business meetings. All documented. She collapsed onto the couch in shock. This can't be happening. Oh, and your business partner, Brad. His wife Karen got all this evidence, 2 photos, texts, your empire plans, you calling me useless. She filed for divorce yesterday. She's going for everything, dealerships, houses, investments, his yacht. Since he spent marital money on you, her lawyer's coming after you to recover it. What does that mean? The man you plan to live a luxury life with is about to lose everything, and you. You're left with nothing, no money, no home. She started hyperventilating. I need to call him. Good luck. His number's disconnected. Karen found out he had 2 other business partners besides you, promising to leave his wife for a lavish life until it all fell apart. Her panic was immediate, a mix of confusion and desperation as she realized she'd bet everything on a man playing the same game with multiple women. Please, John, she begged. I have nowhere to go. Maybe your yoga friends can help you manifest a solution, I said calmly. This is cruel and vindictive. No, it's consequences. You wanted to level up, build an empire, find someone who valued your goddess energy. Congrats, you got it. 2 hours later, she was gone. She packed 3 suitcases, called an Uber, and vanished. No more Lexus, credit cards, or anyone to fund her fantasy life. The house felt lighter, calmer, like the air was clean for the first time in years. I ordered a pizza, cracked open a soda, and felt the calm after the storm. 3 weeks later, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Laura, her voice dull and defeated. John, I really need your help. Help with what? I'm staying at a shelter downtown. I lost my apartment. I can't find a job anywhere. I have nothing. Maybe you should have thought about that before calling me boring and predictable. Please, she begged. I'm desperate. Can we talk in person? We're talking now. I mean face to face. I realize what I lost. You were an amazing husband, and I ruined everything for a fantasy. I want to fix this. I laughed. Laura, you had 4 years to get a real job and contribute. You chose to live off me. Now that your plan B fell apart, you want back in. You're not sorry for cheating or disrespecting me. You're sorry you got caught and lost your meal ticket. That's not true. If Brad still had his money and businesses, would you be calling me? Silence. Thought so. John, I'm homeless. I sleep on a cot next to addicts and mentally ill people. I haven't eaten properly in 3 days. Sounds like the natural consequences of your choices. How can you be so cold? I'm your wife. You were. The judge signed the divorce decree last Tuesday. You got exactly what you contributed, nothing. I can't live like this. You should have thought about that before deciding I wasn't enough. She sobbed. What am I supposed to do? Get a job. McDonald is always hearing. So is Walmart. Honest work you always thought was beneath you. I can't work at McDonald's. I have an image, a reputation. There it was, even in misery, she thought she was too good for real work. Laura, you have no image, no reputation, nothing. You ruined it all for an illusion. You expect me to help you now? You made your choices. Face them. I hung up and blocked her number. 6 months later, I ran into Ashley at the grocery store. She looked uneasy seeing me. Hey, John, how are you holding up? Never been better. Business is growing. Just bought a new house. Life's great. I'm glad to hear that. I heard well about what happened. I'm sorry. Don't be. It was the best thing that could have happened. Any word from Laura? Nope, and I don't care. Ashley glanced around and lowered her voice. She's working at a call center in Louisville, sharing a trailer with 3 people. Lost all her followers when the cheating story got out. Nobody wants to buy beauty products from someone who cheated on her husband. And Brad's bankrupt. His ex-wife took everything, dealerships, houses, the boat, his classic car collection. His lawyer was ruthless. Apparently he had 4 other affairs with married women, promising them luxury lives until it all collapsed. Laura wasn't special, just another one. Fits perfectly. She asks about you through mutual friends sometimes. Tell her I wish her well with her empire. Ashley nodded awkwardly and left. I finished shopping, loaded up my new car, and drove to my quiet, peaceful house. Sometimes I wonder what could have been if Laura had valued what we had, chosen to build something real with me instead of climbing over me for a life that only existed in her head. Did she ever appreciate what I did for her, or was I always just a stepping stone? Those thoughts don't last long. I remember her text mocking me, believing I was a temporary tool. No matter how much I gave, it would never have been enough for someone obsessed with superficiality. Some people don't want love or stability, just the next shiny thing, the next empty promise, the easy shortcut. When that path crumbles, they look back, expecting open arms. I chose to close that door forever. Today, I walk through my home with no tension, no fake fights or forced smiles. I wake up each morning at peace, focused on my projects, surrounded by genuine people. Peace is priceless. Breaking free from that burden was the first step toward a life that's finally mine. The biggest lesson: when someone belittles you, thinking they can easily replace you, they don't deserve to be there when you shine on your own. There's something more powerful than revenge: moving forward without looking back.